Here we are live on a Sunday again. I like to do the lives once a month. First part of the live, I cover my empties. Then I kind of switch into chit chat. So right now it says we have 17 people watching already. So happy almost December. Change of month is always busy for consultants because depending on orders you have to place either in November or December. Sometimes, oh, that's my iPad. Just give me a sec. It's like an ad. Depending on orders you have to place. There's myself. Give me a sec. I'm going to turn that down. Can someone just say hi down in the chat so I can make sure everything's working okay? And as we get into it, I will ask everybody maybe what's in your warmers today? Hello, Melissa and Jacob. Hello, hello. So what's in everybody's warmers and Mary? Today, in my main space, I have ginger cookie crunch going. I can't really smell it the greatest. I don't think it's a main space kind of scent. And I am warming a couple of the scents of the season in the bedrooms. So, toasted caramel sugar, that is one of my favorites. It is so good. Did you get it in the brick or do you have it in bar size? Christmas Cottage, I have that in the brick. I've been warming that in November. Rustic Lodge, also in the brick. Trevor is here. Trevor is up in Cape Breton, which is part of Nova Scotia, so welcome. If you are from Canada, put a Canada symbol down in the chat. If you are from the US, put a US. And if you're from another country, put the flag, and just to see where everybody's from. I've got a red pear and pomegranate because I want it to be summer already. That's Louise. Oh, Melissa, National Lampoons. That's, I was thinking I was warming that, but I'm warming in the bathroom. I am warming Snoopy's Snoopy's Holiday or whatever it's called. It's very lemony, like a lemony pine, which is different. I thought my husband was going to complain, but he didn't complain. The reason I say that is he was in there quite a bit with Drew this morning, giving him a long bath. Very snowy spruce. We have some Canadians here, some Americans here. Anybody from somewhere else? Let's see. Oh, I will tell you, my son Ryan sometimes has some difficulties in school, but he has this great affinity to know all the flags in the world. He can identify them, he can describe them without looking. It's crazy. Very smart like that. All right, so we have 32 people, so thank you for watching. Let's jump into the empties and then we'll talk for roughly an hour. If there's anything you want me to bring up, you can mention it down and I'll try to be on top of it. Maybe put a Q in front of it, the giant letter Q, and maybe I'll notice that as a question. All right, let's talk about non-wax empties first, just because they're the closest to me. So I did finish up a laundry system in Fluffy Fleece. I have the large washer whiffs, the laundry liquid. Hi. And I do have the dryer discs, but I didn't put them inside here, so I think I just threw them out. Right now I'm working on clothesline, and clothesline is such a nice one to washer whiffs. And what I decided to do was maybe not buy the laundry liquid for a little bit, and instead I'm just using Tide Free and Clear with the whiffs. So I'm going to do a little experiment and see what I think. Let me know down below, if you use Scentsy laundry, what part of the laundry do you use? Do you use the liquid, the whiffs, the discs, the suds sheets, which I forget what they're called? Hi, Brett. Do you use the dryer sheets? I will say the dryer sheets were so strong when they first arrived, and I used maybe a few, and then I didn't use them until now, and they don't really have any scent anymore, but I still feel like they're doing the softening purposes. Abby says, yay, I made it. It snowed 14 inches in the past 36 hours. I'm staying home and enjoying my visit. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, because sometimes, Abby, I think if I'm not mistaken, you're a mom of 5 and you're a teacher, so you've got to be busy. So yes, Kara says, melting Palo Santo and cinnamon and Black Forest pine today. Well, that's Cindy, actually. Tracy says, whiffs, right now it's frosty air. So the people that are using just the whiffs, are you using a neutral or an unscented laundry liquid? Question, what time will a new sales item drop on December 1st? They usually do it midnight Pacific Standard Time, so you just have to convert your time zone. So for me, that would be 4 a.m. It's 3 a.m. Eastern, and they usually update the clearance. And sometimes it takes a while to get in, so by the time you're in, it might be a half an hour after. But a lot colder than normal for the first day of summer. Okay, so Abby says, I had a wonderful Thanksgiving week with my oldest home from college and a house full of loved ones. Oh, that's so nice. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to my American customers and friends and fellow consultants, because up here in Canada, we celebrate Thanksgiving in October. So we're kind of early for that kind of thing. So let's talk about, I have a couple oils here. Yes, unscented laundry liquid and whiffs. I mean, I think that's the way to go. I'm going to try it for a bit and see. I bought some unscented, so we're going to give it a go. Happy first day of summer to Australia. All right, so I'm going to tell you I use up 2 oils. The way I use up oils is when I go to work, I put my diffusers on because for some reason I'm okay with that. And it gives a little bit of scent. So if my husband comes home, because he gets home like mid-morning. And this one was orange strawberry melon, which I really like. It's a fruity scent. I tend to not love wax fruity scents, but I love oil and fruity. I don't know. Makes sense of that. Now, this is my favorite oil of all time, hands down. It is called Holiday Shortbread, and it's really hard to see. And it's probably backwards because for some reason I haven't figured out how to fix it on the live, so I apologize. Holiday Shortbread. I wonder if there's a button if I press it. It probably will show you the outside, so maybe I shouldn't do that. But Holiday Shortbread, I saved the notes. This is from a holiday collection. It says just baked shortbread infused with vanilla and covered in rich buttercream frosting. And this is so wonderful. And it's a great vanilla scent. Like you can smell it. Diffusing. It's crazy. Anyway, I bought maybe 5 or 6 of the sets, and I think I have about 3 left. So if you have this and you don't want it, let me know. I'll give you my address. All right, so let's talk about pods. I worked on, well, I finished these up because I found my Scentsy Go, and I charged it recently, and this was in it, and these had no scent, so vanilla bean buttercream. I'm going to tell you, this is not a great pod, in my opinion. Medium to light performing pod is, for me, cinnamon pine cones. So I do have this to warm and wax this month. So it still smells in here, but it just doesn't scent. Like the radius of scent through is so small, it's not good. And I worked on 3 of the same one, Bright Cider Life. So what I do is I put 2, what are these called? Whatever these things are called now. I have one in my main space, so I put 2 in there. And then as you're leaving the main space, oops, there's an island. So I have one plugged in there with 2. And then down the hall from that, I have another one plugged in. So when I go to work, I put on my air diffusers as well. So love Bright Cider Light. I'm so happy it's coming back through the vault. If you are happy it's coming back, give me a hands up. And I was thinking about it today because I put in 1 cube of Cozy Spice today in my entranceway and my storage room. Peppermint vanilla is very good. I put it on my dryer balls when I'm drying bed sheets. Dryer balls sounds funny. What was I saying? Okay, Cozy Spice. There's something in Cozy Spice that is also in Bright Cider Life. So that's probably why I like them so much, both of them. And I am optimistic that Cozy Spice is going to come back and bring back my bar release however they're doing it this year in 2026 coming, which means I'll probably have to wait like a whole year. But now I have 5 cubes left, and I'm probably going to warm the other 5 cubes around my birthday, which is this month. Hi, Bright Cider Life in pods are amazing. And Tracy says, Bright Cider Life is my #1 fall scent. Yeah, I mean, it's so good. Oh, yes, if it doesn't come back, I'm going to message Dan Orchard myself and torment the guy. He doesn't know me, but he's going to. Okay, so I have some car bars. This was in my husband's truck forever, and we were in the truck the other day, and I said, this has negative scent. Like, this actually smells bad. Doesn't have any scent. So I said, you need a new one. So I gave him coconut lemongrass. He says, I just want one that's not too strong. I said, well, you like coconut lemongrass. It's strong, but you like it. And then I had 2 of these. One of them I lost somewhere. It fell off the vent. Oh, something's going on there. Sorry. Strongly worded messages. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Oh, yeah. You mean when I'm talking to Dan? Yeah, exactly. So I had these in the car. I started with 1, and I feel like the pack is up here. Yeah, I had the pack. So I started with 1, And then I put the other one in a few days later, and I left it going for a while. But I only have one more pack of these, but I do like them. I just love vanilla bean buttercream. In fact, I melted some of it from my brick the other day, and my husband came in the bedroom and he goes, "It's so strong in here, so strong." And then he left. I don't think he liked it, so too bad for him. All right, I have a fragrance flower, and I believe this one is sea salt and avocado. So this was a really beautiful. I love the Buttercup Bell. Is that what this one's called? I love this pattern. It's probably one of my favorite patterns. Tell me down below. Very interactive today. Tell me down below your favorite fragrance flower if you have one, like the design, not necessarily the scent. If you want to tell me the scent, that's fine. But what is your favorite? This is my favorite. I don't know. It's so pretty. Yeah. And I never color them. I'm a purist. I just leave them. All right. All right. So let's get into the wax, shall we? So I've been trying to warm. Okay. Let's before we get into the wax, let me catch up. Yes, Deborah. Deborah says that flower is beautiful. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but I'm going to say thank you. I believe it is as well. And it still smells great, and it's dry, so I can get rid of it. Melissa says, I like the sunflower, but sometimes they don't absorb the oil well. Right now, I think it's the Dainty Daisy and Midnight Whisper, which I still haven't sang my song, but maybe I will when that one's over, because that fragrance flower is not performing very well either. So it's in the closet. It's just not performing well. I went to World Tour and they gave us a jumbo one, and it scented the closet so well. And so once it dried out, I put it in the boys' closet, and I could smell it really well in their closet for probably months. And I'm just now noticing I can't smell it. Okay, Jacob says, I haven't had good luck with any of the flowers. But do you find the appearance of one kind of catches your eye? I have a local customer who I haven't met, but he puts a lot of orders in through me, and he must love the flowers because I see him ordering them all the time. Melissa says the wax for Midnight Whisper is so light too. Maybe that's why they called it Whisper. Yes, I think so. It was well named. Now I will say when you buy, I feel like we're just talking more than doing empties, but when you buy a collection, I feel like they target the collection to general people, not necessarily Scentsy addicts. So they have some light and mediums and maybe a strong or a medium plus. Like usually you're probably only going to get one that's fairly strong, and the other ones are going to be on the lighter side. So let me just catch up here. All right. Betsy says, I'm wearing the same gray hoodie with the Gap in black except no zipper. I think this might have been one of my daughter's boyfriend's hoodies. I'm not sure. but she was going to get rid of it, and I said, "No, I'll take it." So, I'm sure she'll let me know. She doesn't watch my videos, which is probably a good thing. All right, so we'll go back to my wax. We're going to get into the wax. So I want to warm one brick per month. And so right now I'm at 11 for the year. And technically I should be warming more than that because I wonder how many I've purchased for the year. I purchased 4 and maybe 2 or 3 through the club and maybe a couple through clearance. And then Ramona gifted me a couple. So I still might be in the positive for the year, but I'm very close to breaking even, if not, But I finished 2 this month, and I don't know if I'm going to finish any in December. But this will bring me to 13. So I have a retired one, which I really like. It's cinnamon chai latte. I can't say that word. I don't drink coffee. So, and I still have three left. I love this one. It's from 2017. Scents like this are an example of if you wouldn't be able to have this in your club because this wasn't ever an option, but if this was available, I would add it to my club because it's like they forget that certain scents were made. It's like, well, come on. There's other people out there that like this one. I know. So it's basically got steamed milk. It's got nutmeg and cinnamon. It's a really nice one. So I put this in my bedroom here. I had it warming in the main space. I had it warming here in my bedroom. Erica came in and she goes, well, actually when it was going out front, she goes, it smells like a pastry, delicious smell in here. She loved it. So, and I know a lot of people want to know what Erica likes. She likes some gently spiced scents, so it's not too much. Deborah says, are there bricks in the clamshells available? Well, the bricks that have been released for the season are available through club in clamshell size, small size. I don't know if that's what you mean. And then most of the bricks that are offered through Club, most of them you can purchase on the website. Not all. There's some that are retired. So I'm not really sure if that's what you mean. Let me know if that's what you mean. Okay, let me, oh, there's a something on, let me just backtrack here and see what I'm missing. Melissa says, you'll have to give us hints for what to pick for the Patricia song prompt. I was thinking Lucky in Love because I can imagine you singing Crazy in Love by Beyonce. I mean, there's so many songs. There's even, okay, so you know that song Cabin Cuddles in the Sense of the Season? Every time I see Cabin Cuddles, I want to sing Cabin Cuddles. Bring the wine, makes me happy, makes me feel fine. So there's lots of songs that I see the scent and I think of a song. And there's probably many songs, like Silver Bells, obviously, that's an option. For that one this month, I'm going to do Blue Christmas. But even, there's ones I can think of off the top of my head. Lucky Starfruit, I often sing Lucky Star by Madonna. I mean, there's so many. The one Together, it's this one. I have it in my empties. This one makes me think of Britney Spears. So, but not because I just think someone must have said once that maybe she has a perfume that smells like this, but I don't know. But every time I see this, I think of Britney Spears. So I don't know. Careless Whisper makes me think of, Moonlight Whisper makes me think of Careless Whisper. So I don't know. Just pick any song. It could be something that maybe you just associate, or some of the Disney ones. You could think of songs that go with that. Yes, yes, exactly. The Wild Cherry and Sakura. Exactly. Hips don't lie. I mean, are the bricks in the clamshells available for us to order, or do we have to do it in a club? You have to do it in a club. So, yeah. Silver Bells, empty. This is from 2017. I'm kind of sad to see it go, but I'm happy that it's currently available scent. It would be a club scent for me if I didn't have it, and it's so pretty. About a medium maximum, maybe even just shy of medium, but it performs well. And this is an older wax, and it held up very well. I had no issues with performance at all. So yeah, very, very happy with that. All right, let's go over, I feel like, let's talk about the new stuff first. So I have a dozen new things here. We'll just grab and go. I have Warm Gingerbread Wishes. This one here has notes of sugared cinnamon, sweet clove, warm nutmeg. And feel free to intervene if you don't like or you love any of these, let me know. Louise says, I chose the Mulan because saw a reflection of the movie when they see the bar. Even any of the Aladdins, like the Three Wishes or A Whole New World, or, you know, any of those Aladdin ones. I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, yeah. It doesn't have to be a Christmas song, it could be any song. And it could be something that you think of. Like, I don't know. I can't think of anything for this. But if I think of any as I'm going through, I'll let you know. So this one, I didn't love. It was just one that, you know, is a one and done for me. When I say one and done, that just means I had one, I'm fine with it. I don't need any more. Performance was at most about a medium for me. We have Wit and Wisdom, Harry Potter, and this is one of my favorites. Now, for some reason, I wasn't feeling this bar as much as normal, but I do love it. It's just something about it. It's almost like it's cured a little bit too. I don't know. I can't explain, but it's sandalwood, vanilla, and suede. So I have quite a few of these. I'm trying to use up 2022. So I have dated all my clamshells, so I'm trying to work on 2022 and bricks that are in the teens. I have Gilmore Girls, I Smell Snow. This is one of those icy, vanilla, minty fresh type of scents. So the notes on I Smell Snow are winter air, frosted mint, vanilla blossom, soft cashmere. I enjoyed this. I remember really liking it, but maybe performance was slightly underwhelming. The other thing is, for wax that is licensed, I feel like I really have to love it, and there's no question in my mind how much I love it to want to buy more, because here in Canada, a licensed bar is $10. So even though you could get it in the club for $1 off with a 10% discount if you receive a certain dollar threshold, it's still a challenge to kind of want to do that. All right, so here's one that I think of a song, Blankets of Love. I feel like there's a song, Something of Love, da 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 da. On the Wings of Love. This one makes me think of the song On the Wings of Love. And I forget who sings it, but that's what I think of. Blankets of Love. Okay, so teens, my oldest is January. Well, I wish I could be that way. Betsy says, I feel the same about licensed bars. If there's a similar scent that's non-licensed, I go for that. Yes, and an example for me would be Candy Apple Delight. I recently took it out of my club. I love that one, but I put in Crayon Apple Crumble. And no, they're not the same, but they kind of give me the same feel and satisfy that same itch that I want with certain scents. So that's what I did. So Blankets of Love. This is a new release, and I describe this as a man's blanket. There's a masculine note to me, and I don't think many people comment that, but this to me is definitely masculine leaning. So the notes on this one are comforting woods, cotton blossoms, and sheer woods. So let me know if you have blankets of love. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know that song, right? I'm doing a terrible job. If you think this is feminine leaning or masculine leaning, please let me know. Because I feel like I'm in the minority. Nobody else talks about that. All right, we have Buttered Pumpkin Dream. This was, I think, one that I ordered by mistake. It's a new release. Buttered pumpkin spice, rustic cedarwood, warm chestnuts. This just didn't do it for me. This would definitely be a one and done. It should be a one and none because I didn't mean to order it. But I warmed the last cube with Make Me Snickerdoodle because there was a scent day that said mix a brown wax with the pumpkin wax. And so that's what I mixed. And I didn't like the mix. Probably because I don't love warm, what's it called? Pumpkin Snickerdoodle? No. What's it called? Snickerdoodle cookie. Make Me Snickerdoodle. Sorry. Make Me Snickerdoodle. Yeah. I didn't. That wasn't for me. We have Luke's Diner. This is one that I put in my club for now. Hi, Beth. Luke's Diner is basically dark roast coffee and cream. It's a good base coffee, nice and strong. You could add lots of things to it. If you had something that was really sweet and caramelly, you could add it to this. If you had something that was lactonic, you could add it to this. I tend to not use a lot of cinnamon with coffee, but some people like pumpkin spice scents. You could mix it with this. So lots of options with that. I finished Mary Pomegranate, and I love the packaging on this one. I think it's really pretty. The scent was just okay for me. The grapefruit was pretty strong in this, and maybe not my preferred grapefruit. I can't even, it says zesty grapefruit. It's very sharp. So it's a zesty grapefruit, pomegranate, hints of pine. A lot of people say there's a lot of pomegranate. I find I don't get the pomegranate until later. Okay, what am I missing here? Let's pause for a second. I'm going to see what people are saying. There's a lot of talk about Luke's Diner. It says, I love Luke's Diner. And then Luke's Diner is the best coffee scent that Centsy has ever made. Yes. Too bad. Oh, sorry. I already put it away. But too bad it's licensed. But that's just the way it goes. All right. We have Dragonfly Inn, which is from the Gilmore Girls collection as well. And this is like a hotel, atmospheric, fancy, sophisticated type scent. The notes don't really tell me what it smells like, so I don't know. It says red apple, lush palm, cozy flannel, red oak. I don't find I can differentiate any of those notes, really. It reminds me of the way they put together The Mandalorian, how there's a bunch of exotic style notes that come together in this fancy way, and that's what it reminds me of. So I don't know. It doesn't really smell like the Mandalorian, but it would be kind of like the way a vendor wax might smell. Dragonfly Inn is not a good performer. I found for me it was about a light medium. Betsy says, Gimme Candy always makes me think of Gimme Shelter. I can't read that because it's just a second. Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. Yeah, so there's lots of options, and maybe it might be something that you just, if you don't put too much pressure on you to find that prompt, it might just jump at you one day and then you'll know what to melt. Melissa says, I don't know if the glitch is still there where you can buy Gilmore Girls collection with the credits or half off. It's worth it. Yeah, I picked up 2 sets for free with my host credits. So I wasn't complaining. And I think I noticed that Charity had mentioned that, so I was very happy. And unfortunately, I'm still really behind on videos, so but I managed to see it in time to get it. Harvest Festival from the Gilmore Girls. This was my least favorite. I liked it a lot on cold, but on warm it reminded me of caramel sugar cookie. I'm probably expecting it to leave today. Question, fairly new to club. Can I remove brick from club each time and order a different one? Yes. Yes. And in fact, it's probably smart to go in once your club ships, to go in and maybe remove that half price and put something different in. There's so many times I see my customers forget to utilize their half price. You can use it on a bar if you want. I mean, you could use it on bulbs. Use it. Don't let it go to waste. There's so many times I'm like, they let it go to waste. So anyway, because as consultants, you can kind of see, you can't usually, well, I guess you can see what their club is like, but you can't access and do anything to the club. But once it ships, you can see what was in the order. So I do sometimes just, especially if I'm going to give samples, I try to say, well, what kind of scents is this person ordering? So I might include scents that they tend to gravitate towards, but I always like to throw in wild cards. And that would be a great thing to use your half price for. You throw in a wild card because you're getting it for half price. It says, do you have to be a consultant to have a club? No, clubs are for anyone. Anyone who wants to have one can sign up. You just need an email and then decide what you want to put in it. So this one was about a medium performer to medium plus, I would say. This one was strong for me. It was Ring the Bell. So here's another one. You know that ring my bell, ring my bell. You know, here's a song one. There's lots of songs. So this one has similarities to Ghostly Greetings for me, but it's more of a, it says here, dark pomegranate, warm cedarwood, and oud. So yeah, it's very strong. Ooh, it's a strong one. It's a strong one. All right, we have Shrek Fairy Tale Ogre. I feel like I warmed this like 2 months ago, but it must not have been that long ago. Did I write the notes? Yes. Appetizing apple, fresh floral, grassy greens. This reminds me of Alpine Meadow with almost like a sweet candy-like green apple. So I like that one. If I saw it for a really good discount, I would buy it again. Have some more pumpkin. This one I don't have any more of. That's fine for me. It says vanilla marshmallow, rich caramel, pumpkin spice. I got a lot of graham cracker with this. When you sing the song, it gets stuck straight in your head, yeah. That could be bad. I remember Allie said that she doesn't like when she gets songs stuck in her head, but so far there's lots of songs here today, so I'm just trying to give you some ideas. It doesn't have to be a Patricia song. I just put that in because you guys know how often I branch into songs, so maybe it would give you some help. All right, so the next few are ones that are retired. I think that have not come back and bring back my bar. So I have apple butter frosting. And I always think of this one because when I first got into Centsy, there was a brick of apple butter frosting. And yes, the brick was like this color on the back. It was yellow, yellow, yellow. And the wax was really hard and crumbly, but it performed well. And this always performs fairly well. It's very sweet. There's a vendor wax that I had. It took me forever to get through. It was like a blue sugar blend. And blue sugar is kind of hard to explain, but I was like, I need to sweeten this blend up because I just needed to like switch it up. It was so strong and I had a brittle of it, so it took me forever, but I actually mixed apple butter frosting with it and it was really nice. So the notes on apple butter frosting are cinnamon spiced apples and vanilla buttercream. And this would be an example of a scent that most people wish would have came in the vault, but did not. So I'm not really sure what qualifies Centsy to say, let's put this scent in the vault promotion and not this one. And what I think is, this was just my opinion, and I explained it in a very simplified way, but let's say they pour wax and it's in batches. We'll just pick a random number, 10,000 bars in a batch. Well, what if apple butter frosting's batch number is like 9,899? Well, they're really close to using that whole batch, so it's not like they have tons left over, so they're pouring it, and they don't have all this surplus. So maybe that's why it didn't get on the list. I don't know. Maybe the oils are too expensive. I don't know. But maybe there's a scent like Bayberry and Currant, which I don't think is on the list. But let's say this one has a really low number of people in the club. And so every time they have to pour it, they have all this surplus. And they're like, what do I do with this? Well, maybe they're like, let me find a way to increase the sales on those ones that we're pouring, that we have an abundance of anyway. It's no loss. We got to try to get rid of them. I don't know. I think the vault thing is a bunch of overstock. Yeah, it has to do with it always has to do with money. So that, maybe my foot's falling asleep. Maybe it's just money sitting on the shelf. And obviously we see a lot of these vault promotion bars are appearing in the clearance. So that's another good option. Just one sec. If any of your club possibilities are showing up in the clearance, maybe do a small clearance order or the Black Friday sale. Should clarify, because you're getting even a better deal, but you could still put them in the club series. And if you decide that you don't like them, you could axe them from your club, and maybe you'll just save a little bit in shipping, and especially if you need to order something anyway. So let's talk about Bayberry and Currant since I have it here. This one was in the Scents of the Season, probably in 2021. And this one was quite strong. It was one of the stronger ones. And the notes are peppery, bayberry, fresh juniper, bright currant. And I wish I wouldn't have warmed this month because somebody actually suggested this as a prompt for December. It was melted bayberry scent. And I thought to myself, when I'm doing up the challenge, I think to myself, how can I make this so most people will be able to participate in this day? Because let's be honest, most people are not going to have a bayberry scent. That would be a hard thing to have. But I usually say melt a bayberry scent or a bee scent. Or if you didn't have something that starts with B, you can melt any berry scent. There's ways to get around it. Anyway, this one is Together Forever. This was part of the Glamorous You collection, which all of those scents remind me of song because I think Glamorous Life by Sheila E. Remember that song? So it's apple, strawberry, and sweet pea, and all of those scents are on the perfumey side with the exception of one that's called, what's the one that's not? It's the green one. If you can think of the green one's name, I can't think of the green one's name. If you can think of it, put it down below. I'll wait to see if something comes up. In the meantime, Sugar Cookie. This is an example of a scent that's retired, but you can get it in the club as a brick. But I like to have it in bar size because I find it convenient. I have a few yes, Dazzle Darling. Thank you, Beth. That Dazzle Darling is the green one that's in the Glamorous You. I do have a few people that look for this, so I think it's handy to have it in bar. And it's so yummy. It's butter, sugar, and creamy vanilla. Yeah, it just makes me happy. I have We're All Mad here. Just hold on 1 second. I'm going to talk about this and I see a question come up. This was the one I warmed on a day. It said, pick something that your family likes that you don't really like, because this is not really my kind of scent. So We're All Mad here is tart plum, strawberry, pink sugar, burst of fizz. It's a strong one, but it's just not my style of scent. There's something in here. It's almost like a wild berry. And it has a similar tone that some people get from huckleberry and clementines. So just not one for me. All right, let's go back. Question, once club picks are set, can you increase the amount of bar's particular scent in the future? You can only increase scents that are currently available. So once a scent retires, the number can only be kept the same or decreased or deleted. Hello there. Sorry I was late, but I was excited to catch you. That's Sabrina, I believe. Speaking of Bright Cider Life, here we go. I have this in wax. I'll tell you the notes because I didn't talk about it. Spiced harvest, cider, pumpkin, and red apple. And there's a little bit of a creaminess to this scent that, and almost like a nutmeg allspice kind of blend to it. Really nice. Most people, I wouldn't say all people because obviously not, but most people that try this end up at least liking it. That's the feedback I get generally. I have a really old clamshell Very Merry Cranberry. I will tell you, I had a warmer, you can't see it, but here's where my wax cabinet is where I have a lot of wax. On the very top I had the boho chic warmer, and for some reason I decided, like there's a plug that I have to kind of move, and sometimes I'm moving it and I'm like, well, let me just move something, and I go to move the warmer and I forget that the dish is top heavy, and the dish comes off the warmer, and I see it coming down, hits me in the head, which it didn't hurt, but it hits me in the head, and as it's doing that, I'm like trying to catch it, and I almost had it caught, and then there's that moment in your brain where you're like, it's gonna fall and break. And you're like, maybe it won't break, please. And then it hits the floor and it breaks. And you're like, yes, it broke. So immediately I went on, because that was my, when I first ordered through Centsy, I ordered 3 warmers. It was the Aspen Grove, the Boho Chic, and the Doodle Dot. And I still have all of them. And in fact, I grabbed the Aspen Grove. That is a phenomenal warmer because it's skinny and the light bulb's really close to the dish. The dish gets so hot. I love that one. It doesn't look the prettiest, but I love it. Anyway, so I tracked down the warmer on Kijiji, which is a local buy and sell. I don't have Facebook, so I don't have Marketplace. So I arranged to go see this girl. It takes me like a week to get there because of our schedule. So I finally show up, and I said to, I think Ryan was in the car. I said, okay, I'm going to go in. Hopefully she won't invite me in, but if I don't return, call the police. And he's like, oh. So I go in, and she's super nice. I had nothing to worry about, but she's like, oh, hi, Patricia. I want to show you that the warmer works. And she's showing me, plugging it in and everything. And I just said to her, I'm just buying it for the dish. And she's like, oh. Anyway, so she gave me this. It was part of the sale. So there was 3 cubes in here, and this is a very like mid-level cranberry, kind of on the sweet side, with a tiniest bit of whizziness. So what do the notes say? Red winter berries and cedar. I will say sometimes people get really worked up. I don't, and I'm not making fun if you do. But some people are like, well, it doesn't say like spiced grapefruit. Doesn't say spiced grapefruit in the notes. But I think sometimes they're just trying to be stingy and not put one of the notes. If it's in the title, they're like, well, it's kind of self-explanatory that it's in the title. And I kind of wonder, now that Centsy is going to the more streamlined packaging, I picture there to be somebody at Centsy that does all these scent descriptions, and they're like, I'm out of a job. So they're like, okay, well, you can still do the scent descriptions, but we're going to transition, we're going to have to find something else to do, because that person who does the scent descriptions, sometimes they must be really into their work and they write really long descriptions, and other times they're very concise. So yeah, this is an old one, and this they added into the vault. So if you're looking for this one, definitely go add it. And today is your last day for the vault. All right. Sorry, that was a long ramble. All You Need Is Love. I bought a bunch of these in 2023, and I have a boatload to go through. And the notes are coconut sugar, creamy vanilla, and Bing cherry. And they did do an oil called coconut sugar, so I have that as well. That's about a medium. It's almost like a rich bakery style scent. It's very rich. Walnut raisin muffin. This is also in the club vault. Trevor says I missed the oil. Yeah. I've been trying to use oils, but it takes me forever to go through them. So I'm kind of glad that I haven't been purchasing anymore, just because now I'm starting to see some of my numbers go down. So walnut raisin muffin is baked muffin, cinnamon, golden raisins, and walnuts. This is a light to medium bakery. All You Need Is Love. Yeah, that's another song. Thank you. I forgot about that. Have I missed any others? No, I don't think so. Walnut raisin muffin. There's no song that I can think of for that one. I have 2 butter pecan. Cedarwood pine, another love of mine. Okay. Oh yes, I don't like that one. I wish I could send it to you. Deborah says, when you keep wax bars for a long time, do they leak oil? The Ravenclaw one that I showed you early had some oil down in the hinge of the clamshell. So when you store your wax, you should store it like this. But sometimes when I had it in my melting basket, I had it upright, and so some of the oils came down. But I've never had scents that usually emit a lot of separations of oils. So this one I used up 2 butter pecan. I have 1 more. I don't think I'm going to put this in my club because I've melted through quite a bit lately. I'm good with that one. And we have peanuts. This one recently retired. So peanuts, Snoopy Autumn Adventure, or whatever it's called. Warm spice, brown sugar, vanilla. I don't really remember much about this, but I remember I thought there might have been a gentle peach in it, but even smelling this here now, I can't smell much. All right, I just have 6 more to go. How are we doing for time? Oh my gosh, I'm babbling on. Okay. How's everybody doing? Give me a thumbs up if you're still alive. All right, we have 6, and I think most of these are probably on the older side, but not all. Spiced Orange Harvest. This is a Bring Back My Bar in 2022, and I did like the little Bring Back My Bar stickers there. Not backwards, I'm sure. Sweet oranges spiced with clove and cinnamon. Very high-pitched orange, candy-like, very little spice. Good entry-level orange spice if you don't like a lot of spice. That's a good one. Bamboo Yuzu. This was also in the same Bring Back My Bar, I believe. Dewy bamboo, lotus flower, fresh yuzu, hints of sage. I would not repurchase this. It's my last one, but I realized I have a room spray in it, so there you go. I can't remember. I probably got it on a deal. Still on the bus, lady. You'll have to elaborate that one. Winter Wonderland. Is there a song called Winter Wonderland? Walking through a Winter Wonderland? See, there's lots of song options. So Winter Wonderland had like a minty, fresh air, almost like a cinnamon ribbon candy feel. So that is, the notes on this don't say all that. They say blast of frosty mint breeze. This would not be a repurchase, but I do think the packaging is really nice. Like, look at that. All right, cotton candy cookie is in my club. So some people were disappointed this was not offered in the vault. This one is a light to medium, but I would say closer to light for many. It says cotton candy cookies, gooey treats, and sugared raspberries, and I love this one. Thank you. If you can hit the thumbs up button, I would appreciate it, because I often forget If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe if you'd like. I would love to be able to, I mean, I feel like I'm really far away from it, but I would love to get to 10,000. And the reason is, it sounds so silly, but if you ever have problems with YouTube, if you're over 10,000 subscribers, you can directly communicate with like a real person. And I always just think I would have such a hard time if I had to do everything through like an automated system, like a bot or whatever. So I'm like, that's why I want to get to 10,000, but I'm not even to 7,000 yet. So one thing at a time. I have Amber Road. This one was it early in the year? I think. It says exotic red cedar resinous incense, smoking vetiver, crackling birch leaves. Yeah, this is one that when you smell it, I'm like when I smell it on cold, I'm like, eh. But then when you warm it, you're like, wow, this is so nice. But it's not one that I would choose to warm often. But when I warm it, I like it, if that makes sense. I agree with Betsy. Betsy says automated systems are the pathway to insanity. And then when you call them and they're like, please listen to the menu, as the menu options have recently been changed. And you're like, no, they haven't. It's been like this for like a year. My last one is Happy Birthday. And I have this in the club. I'm probably going to use up a couple this month because it is my birthday 2 days before Christmas. So this one has notes of Candylicious confection of sparkling sugar, fluffy whipped cream, and vanilla extract. About a medium performer, but not very long lasting, but very yummy. It smells to me like marble cake that kind of got gypped with the chocolate part. It has way too much vanilla in the marble cake. Just a tiny bit of chocolate sneaking through. So that is my, oh, I forgot. I have testers. I'll go through these fast, okay? All right. We have Sparkling Spice Citrus. I have a bunch of these to use up because I got a bunch of damaged clamshells. So for some reason I used up one tester. I have Orange Dreamsicle. This is a scent they brought back this year. Almost like a revisit type scent in the catalog. So that was exciting. I have Pistachio Woods. I warmed this in the entranceway. I wasn't crazy about it when I warmed it in the bar last year, and I'm still the same. And it's retired, so I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't lean cherry to me like Vendor Wax Pistachio does. I have Squeeze the Day. I think I mixed this with maybe Sparkling Spice Citrus. And this is a lemon with a tiny bit of vanilla. I do to my customers, yes. Rum Pum Plum. I think I have, do I have more? I think I have more than one Rum Pum Plum. I know I do, but I don't know where they went. Rum Pum Plum, I thought I had 3 of them. Anyway, I misplaced the other ones. I don't like Rum Pum Plum. So many people like it. Tell me down below, do you prefer sweet plum pastry or Rum Pum Plum? Or is there a different plum that you prefer in the bakery category? I definitely prefer sweet plum pastry. So Rum Pum Plum has notes of sweet plum jam, vanilla sugar, flaky buttery crust. Excuse me. Frosted Cedar. This is a fairly strong one. This recently retired. Frosted Cedar is red delicious apples, white cedar, creamy vanilla. Rum Pum Plum. Isn't there like a song for that too? Excuse me. Midnight Mahogany. This is a wood scent that recently retired. It says black plum, cinnamon leaf, dark mahogany. It was just okay, not a repurchase. Somebody put sweat plum pastry. No sweat in our Centsy. Falling Apples. I think I made samples for this because this was, what is this in the Vault promotion? I think it was. It says apple, acorn, and oak. That one is not one that I tend to love. And Make Me Snickerdoodle is the one that I mixed with the Buttered Pumpkin Dream or whatever it was called. Anyway, Make Me Snickerdoodle. The notes on this are homemade cookie dough, brown sugar, vanilla bean, sugared cinnamon. A lot of Scentsy's bakery to me lately smells stale. There's some kind of oil that they're using for a lot of their bakeries, and for my nose, it makes it smell like a stale bakery. I don't know how to describe it. It's just not. I need it like sweeter or something. All right. So I do have a list of not things to do, but just in case I forget or like run out of things to talk about, which for me I usually don't. But have you ever seen those videos and they're like, "We do not care," and they're like. So anyway, we do not care that we're over the empties. All right, the next thing I wanted to tell everybody, I feel like I have to apologize or something. Okay, sorry. What is the song you think of for Lake My Day? Pump Up the Jam. Remember, it's like, lake my day, lake my day, lake, 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 lake. Yeah, Pump Up the Jam, pump up the jam, pump it up. I mean, you could, the other day I did, what's, Low by Flo Rida, for Apple Harvest Dreams. Like, there's so many songs. Did I forget any? I don't think so. You know those Scentsy plates? I want to know, did you see anybody buy the Scentsy plates? Because it says they're sold out. Remember those plates that we made fun of that cost $1 million? Did anyone buy the plates? I hope not, but somebody bought the plates. Beth says, love the song. Yes, we do not care. Yeah, do we care that the plates are sold out? No. Well, I have to, just a second. We do not care that somebody spent, an absorbent amount of money on the Scentsy plates that are not intended for food use or have anything to do with scent at all. We do not care. Yeah, I'm thinking they made 5 sets. But did anybody on YouTube buy them to show them on their channel? Brett says, we didn't sell any and I haven't seen anyone hold them. They probably gave them out to everybody. Okay, this is what they did. They probably said, okay, you're coming to see the Festival of Lights or whatever that thing is that they have at the Scentsy Common. They're like, if you come and see it, we'll give you a free thing of plates. Because we need to get them out of the warehouse so that Patricia doesn't keep making fun of us. Okay, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to tell you everything, but for the Harvest 5-pack bundle, that has sold out. And the Apple Harvest Dreams and the Cider and Crimson Berry also sold out. I noticed that, so I thought I'd mention. Okay, I talked about the sale that they're having right now. I forget what time it's ending, but it's probably ending soon. I made a giant career change and my first day is tomorrow. This video is helping calm my nerves. Oh, well, congratulations. You're going to do fine. Just take a deep breath, 1 minute at a time, and you'll make it to the end of the day. Beth says, maybe a next flash sale, they will give a free plate. Yeah. And you get a plate, and you get a plate. I don't think they want to ship the plates either because they might break. So yes, don't forget, today is the last day to add your Scentsy Club scents from the vault, the special vault promotion, to the club. I say, if you're not sure, throw them in. You can always delete them, depending on especially when, keep an eye on when your club ships, obviously, but and remember, some of those scents are on the sale. So if you have enough that makes it worth your while, if you calculate it, well, how much am I going to spend in the club? And how much am I spending on the sale plus shipping? Is it worth my while? Because remember, when you do things through the website, you can always attach them to a party, and that money accumulates towards free and half price credits if you have a party. Anytime you go through club, you can't have that dollar amount count towards a club party. A free oversized plate when you buy an overpriced candle. You guys are funny. Yeah, I think. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? I usually like to go for an hour, so we still have about 10 minutes to go. Like, what do you guys want to talk about? I did order with that sale, and because I had to order some customer items, I'm just praying that I don't get screwed. Because if you know how they say it might take 21 business days to ship, and I did order some customer items. So it says, what are your thoughts on the new fragrance system? The day that was coming as an announcement, I signed up to go on the Zoom call or whatever, and I don't know if I just fell asleep or something. I woke up and it was like, I'm like, oh, it's too late now. I missed it. I did read up on it. I read up on it shortly after it happened, and then I read up on it briefly today, just in case somebody asked. I am reluctant to purchase things that they decrease. So in Scentsy land, there's something called PRV, which means, I think, personal retail volume. So if you buy a wax bar for $6 in the US, usually the PRV will be 6 PRV. If it's through club and it's $5.40, the PRV goes down to 5.4, okay? But sometimes they say things like, in order to make this a reasonable price for the customers, we've decreased the PRV. So basically you're saying, okay, well, the consultants are the ones that are going to take the hit on this. I don't know. That annoys me to no end. So I usually don't get excited about those products. And just the way they brought it out, I think they were trying to create buzz. I don't know. It's an expensive ticket. I tend to not buy a lot of, like, I've never purchased an air purifier. I just don't want to get stuck having to buy filters. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like in my 50s. I'm okay breathing the air so far. So, but that's not saying that if you purchase it that I'm like, oh, I always say make the decisions that are, best for you. But for me, I remember when I first joined Centsy, I thought to myself, I'm not interested in a lot of the other stuff. And through the years, I have become interested in some of the non-wax things, but I still love the wax and the warmers the best. So I haven't purchased pods probably in a year unless it's on a clearance sale. And I'm just trying to use up as many pods as I can. And once I get really low, maybe I will repurchase pods. But I will tell you, just as a side note, I'm using the snowberry pods. Those pods are fantastic. I'm just shocked at how good they are. And it was to the point where I'm like, I'm buying a bar. So I put it in my last order. And I don't even really ever have a craving for snowberry, but that is an example of it. Sometimes you don't think much about a scent. You haven't given it a chance, or you warmed it years ago and you're just like, eh. And then you're exposed to it somehow and you're like, wow, I'm going to give it a try again. And I will say, coming up, I'm going to film a tester Tuesday, probably tomorrow or sometime on Tuesday. I'll try to get it out on Tuesday because of the name, but it's the scents of the season. And my husband, there was one bar, he said, this is the worst bar ever. Don't ever let me smell it again. And then he re-smelled it he gave it 3 out of 10. And then he re-smelled it a few days later and he said 8 out of 10. I go, hold up. And I said, let me read to you what you said. And he goes, you know what? I think it's important to tell your viewers that it can be your mood that day, how you interpret a scent. And I said, you know what? You're so right, because how many times have we gone to someone's house and we walk in and we're like, oh my goodness, it smells amazing in here. What is the scent? And they tell you and you're like, I hate that scent, or it doesn't smell like that in my house. So it could be the way it smells in the house, the way it smells to you that day, your mood that day, the time of year. Anyway, you kind of have to be open-minded. Betsy says, I am such a mood melter. Beth says, your hubby cracks me up. He gives a 3, he gives a 3 to the worst bars. What would he give a 0? My husband usually doesn't go below 5. So I always say he goes between 5 and 9. So I said, Erica's lately, there's been a couple scents that she gave like a 1 or a 0. I think there's a scent in Scents of the Season, I think she gave a 1 out of 10. So she's like hardcore. And Ryan is, every scent Ryan's like, I always joke Ryan would make the best Scentsy consultants because he loves so many scents. And that's why I say Ryan doesn't like Perfect Oatmeal. And if you like Perfect Oatmeal, put it down in the comments below, because that is one that's in the Vault series. And I just don't want people to get it and be like, oh, this is horrible. But I personally don't think it's very good. And the feedback that we received from the public around the last Bring Back My Bar when it came out, it wasn't great feedback. But for some reason, it keeps coming back. So I don't know. There's got to be people that like it. Yeah. I don't have anything else on the list. It's all crossed off. So, we have the change. I don't even know. Are they doing a end of the month live tonight? Because I don't have Facebook, so I rely on someone like Charity to post that, and I usually watch it days later. Metallica Mom used to post it, but she's not a consultant anymore. So, and she's so funny. If you like vendor wax, she's really getting into vendor wax, so she's so funny to watch her get excited. She sits there with like a magnifier. It's so funny. Brett, if you're still here, do you still warm vendor wax? I'm not sure. I have my friend Shannon sent me up a package. I believe she sent it to me Friday, and it's already in St. John, New Brunswick. So she came up to Canada, and so she mailed it in Canada, which helps me out tremendously. So I don't think Shannon's here because I haven't seen her, but if you watch this, thank you, Shannon. And yeah, so I'm probably going to get it in a day or two. And I usually don't do cold sniff for my vendor. I just kind of do it in my vendor wax empties. But maybe if you want me to do that, I will. So I think I have Teddy Bees, Glitterati, and Rose Girls. Mary says they are doing end of the month live. What time would that be? Sometimes I remember when Dan was in charge, I kind of gave Dan a hard time, but now that Orville and Heidi are back, Dan is looking really good in comparison. But I really don't like when Orville sits in the middle and he kind of monopolizes it. Like, I don't know. It's not all, sometimes it comes across like he thinks he's the only one that's can relay things. Brett says, not much. It doesn't perform well in my home. Okay. It could be like, I do use hotter warmers for a lot of my Vendor wax, so sometimes there was something the other day. I'll just give you a sneak peek. The sugared peppermint flurries. I put 2 cubes here in my bedroom, 2 cubes in the bathroom. I forgot to turn the bathroom one on, but I could smell the one in my bedroom fairly well. It was throwing fairly well, but it only lasted a few hours. I could smell it, and then it just kind of fizzled really light. It was super, super light, and then I realized, oh, well, it's because I only have one warmer on. So I've turned the other one on. That one just did okay. It just didn't seem to last, and then I put it in my storage room. That one didn't seem to last. And I just got so angry that I couldn't smell it. So I put on a Vendor wax that I know throws really well, a Beach Nights blend. And I was like, thank God I could smell something. Okay, let me see what you guys said here. Beth, okay. So Trevor says it's at 9 p.m. Atlantic, which you'd have to go back. That's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, etc. Beth says, I only do Vendor wax in the bedroom. I didn't do well for me mostly either. Mary says 8 p.m. Okay. Cindy says, I feel the same about Orville. And he comes across like, I'm probably going to get shut down by Centsy, but he needs to not talk as much, because what he is saying is not coming across in the nicest way. Okay. Orville needs to stay behind the scenes. Totally turns my stomach. Okay. That's coming from Lee, I believe. Sorry. I think it's Lee. Stacy says, I don't watch them anymore since Orville and Heidi started doing them again. I love Dan and Lacey. Yeah. Okay, Katie says, I miss Lacey. Brett says, Beach Nights does do well for him as well. And Kathleen says, it's just not the same without Lacey. And Beth says she misses Lacey as well. And Beth also says he's condescending. So I assume that is Orville. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing is, so when their son, I forget their son's name that's in charge of the whip box, he's like a breath of fresh air. I think he's like, let him do it with Dan or something. Give Heidi and Orville a break, and let, what's his name? Please, it's right on the tip of my tongue. The whip box, Thompson, what's his first name? Not Ethan, not Nathan. Owen, yes, I knew it was like something with an N. Yeah, like he's excited, and I think what it is he seems a little unsure when he's describing things, like he doesn't have the confidence, but you can see him kind of coming into it a bit. You know, like have someone like him on, like he's trying to work hard doing the whiff box. Like, I appreciate him. He seems very genuine. So, you know, and the day that they didn't tell him there was a change in venue, so he shows up late. It's like, come on. And yeah, so I think that a lot of the consultants that joined before me really like Heidi and Orville, and then they were there for a bit when I was there. Oh, it says, I love your dresser with the 9 small drawers. These ones, yeah. I think I might have showed you guys this. Like, they fit perfectly. I think these bags were from Centsy, or no, these might be from like the dollar store. And some of them, I just reuse them, so some of them look kind of ugly. But I put my testers in. So this is Cinnamon Bear, and I put them in. So the first, these are spring, summer, and I do them alphabetized. So whatever I have more than one of, like, I'll put it in a bag. If I have singles, they're in the bottom of there. But like, I can move these around, let's say, if it's convenient. But so like the first one says Barefoot Beach, and I have 2 of those, and then By the Sea. So sometimes if I need, because this is a good way to use up testers, and then if these come back, I just kind of, you know. And down in these, so I think these ones have some scent circles in them, like Jam and Jubilee. These are retired scent circles, Kukui and Coconut, World Tour. These are all really good scent circles. This one's the best scent circle I think I've ever had, Santorini Blossoms. And then this one, it is car bars. So these are all the car bars I have left, and my husband said his friend wants a car bar. I said, no, he's not getting them because they don't make them anymore. So don't go giving him any. He can have scent circles. And then in this one, I don't think I have anything in. Well, don't show anybody, but I have like some of these. And I have 1 scent pack, Mickey Mouse and Friends. And I kept this from the Melted Mousse because I loved it. The notes are sugar cookies, vanilla butter fudge, vanilla bean Noel, and marshmallow whip. So if I ever made a custom, maybe I would try to replicate that. Yeah, I think I bought this from a coworker, and I thought it would work really well for my testers. So it's not in the best shape, like you probably can't tell from where you're sitting and watching, but it's got like some nicks and stuff. But that's okay. None of my furniture's in good shape anymore. So let me see. Let's catch up because we're getting close to an hour. We're just over an hour. Okay. Lisa says, I think Orville and Heidi don't seem to know what's going on sometimes. I feel like they were talking about that scent. I think it was Cinnamon Woods, and they didn't know that that was a returning scent. So Katie says, Owen helps appeal to the younger demographics. Kathleen says he'd feel more comfortable if Orville wasn't breathing down his back. And Deborah says, Mrs. Patricia, it was nice watching your live. Thank you for sharing your view on Scentsy Wax. Well, thank you so much. What was I going to say? Somebody made me think of something. Lisa, know what's going on. Older demographic, breathing down. Yeah, I think having maybe if he was just with Dan, because Dan's kind of funny. So I'll tell you a story. So we went on the cruise, and we show up. Everybody had... It basically said your table number was like 901, let's say. But then further down it said, don't sit at table 901 because that's for VIP. so Eric and I went on the cruise, and we show up, and there's 2 seats left at table 901. I'm like, okay, let's sit. So we sit down, and we look at all the other people, and we're like thinking, okay. And then when we realized when Dan came up to the table and introduced himself, somehow somebody clued in that we weren't supposed to be sitting there. So we're all sitting at the table, and we're like, oh, this is supposed to be the VIP table, and we're sitting here. So they had to find like random seats somewhere else, like a big table for all of them. So that was funny. So then later, at the very end, sometimes I didn't go to any of the events, and Erica obviously didn't go, but she said that she was in the elevator or something one time, and she said that she heard other people on the cruise complaining about the Centsy consultants because they were being too pushy. And I'm like, stuff like that really bothers me. I'm like, don't be pushy. You're giving them a bad name. With kids, all of our furniture is beat up. Yeah. So at the very second last day, let's say, they had an event. And so I said to Eric, well, we should probably go because we haven't gone to anything else. So it was just like a, virgin drink event. And Dan was there. And I kind of saw him from afar, but we were probably like 6 to 8 feet away. And he looked at me and I looked at him. And then he just kind of had this look and he went... He left. And so I said to Erica, maybe he knows that I'm not like a typical consultant. And he's like, well, I better not talk to her because who knows what she's going to say. So I always think back to that. But he's grown on me over the years. And I remember when he had to talk to us about Scentsy Club many years ago. And he was telling us about Scentsy Club, the changes they were making. Remember many years ago, you just had your bars in a 6-pack and you had the 6-pack pricing. And then they took that away, and people were all freaking out about it. And he's talking about the changes, and he's like, he was so nervous trying to smooth things over. But let me see what you guys say. All right. Abby talks about the furniture, and then Betsy says, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, if you guys could hit the thumbs up. There's 70 people here, so if you haven't hit the thumbs up, if you could do that before we head off. And hopefully the live chat will be up for viewing. If not, I think I've highlighted through most of it, so hopefully you got something out of it. And also, I will let you know if you prefer that I have a guest on, let me know. If you prefer no guest, or maybe switch it up. Because I said to my daughter, I said, if you get the, what's it called? There's something Scentsy gives called the Seasonal Sales Award or something. I forget what it's called. It comes with a glass plaque, and I did receive it, and they give you a bonus usually in the spring. So I said I'm going to take that money and I'm going to buy like a MacBook, and then I can do StreamYard and kind of have multiple guests. We could probably have like 3 or 4, but right now I just have to use the YouTube feature, which kind of sucks. But if you prefer just me by myself, let me know. If you prefer me to invite guests on, let me know. I tried to invite April on again, but I don't think she saw my invitation, so hopefully hopefully, she's not here today, so hopefully everything's good with her because she usually doesn't miss. Okay, thanks. Beth says do whatever. They should change it back to when you could change the frequency of each of your club bars separately. Yeah, I mean that the club is a giant beast, so I know that people want things the way they want, but I don't know. I think sometimes it comes down to they can do it the way they're doing it or not at all. Would be fun with a guest too. Okay. So yes, I will say thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. If you're new, hit the subscribe. If you like the video, hit the like. Thanks for spending the last hour and 5 minutes with me. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good weekend.